All right, good. What have it been? Evening,
Afternoon, evening.
afternoon. Friday Night Victors, of course. Gary Huff, along with my man Frank Vajner. One of us is filling in for Chris, I guess. He's on assignment somewhere else. I don't know exactly where, but we have Frank's microphone here.
Yep.
I feel honored. This is what is this? The first on the field microphone.
Also the pregame dish mic for Dundee basketball.
I feel a little awkward. I mean, and a little honored. Actually,
you should feel honored, Gary.
I mean, do you ever feel like you should break out into some Barry Manilow when you? Do you know a showgirl named Lola? She had yellow feathers in her hair. No.
No, Barry Manilow would be way before my time. I was born in 1988.
Do you write the songs of love and special things?
No, I do not.
Okay, so we're moving on, but yeah, we're coming off a week, 2 W's by the 2 teams left that we cover, Milan and St. Mary Catholic Central, and we're going to talk a little bit about those games. And you attended Milan, I attended SMCC, and then we're going to talk about Saturday's games, right?
Yes.
Saturday's games, the upcoming games against Country Day and Montrose.
Yep.
So let's get some sponsors in first. This first segment here is going to be brought to you by Gerwick Nissan.
Yeah.
And also by JJ Sports Video.
Yep.
We appreciate our sponsors.
Jared Jansen, the head of JJ Sports Video.
Yeah.
You need video for anything, go talk to him.
And where we at?
We're at Monroe Sports Center tonight.
We're at Monroe Sports Center. And our bowling team is in first place. Believe it or not, we're just awful bowling wise, but we're just awful enough that teams don't want to bowl against us, I guess. So, all right, so let's move on here. All right, last week's game, Frank. Let's talk a little bit about Milan and their opponent last week, and you know.
Yeah.
What did you see? What did you notice? Who played well? All that good stuff. Do I have to give you this?
Yeah, we'll just pass it. Well, I can say that on Milan's first play, Tristan Hines took it 61 yards to the hizzy, and from there I was like, oh my goodness, this could be ugly.
That's the end zone, right?
Yes, that to the house, to the barn, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And he had another rushing touchdown. He also threw 2 touchdown passes to Kendrick McBride. And he also returned a kickoff. It was actually originally returned by Jet Isaacs, and Tristan told me afterwards that he said, hey, Jet, give me the ball, and Jet Isaacs pitched the ball, and
yeah, you got the interview. You got the interview with Hines after the game.
Yep.
And yeah, Summit was a little bit outclassed, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, that was a talented team. I saw them in week 1, but I think they just really realized that this is a much different animal when you're in the second round of the playoffs. It's the first time they've ever been there, so, I mean, they had a great season. 8 wins for them was the most in school history. So,
yeah, they're building something over there. They get some. It's the best team they ever had, and it's a great platform for them to step off of next year, and maybe step up, I should say, and keep going. But yeah, Milan was just too much. Big games by the usual suspects for Milan. You mentioned Hines, Isaac,
and also Evan Furtney had a pick 6.
Yeah, well, he coming back this year, mid-season or so, that's just huge. He's a tremendous talent, Furtney, and they got some big-time players at Milan, and we're going to talk a little bit about their upcoming game against Country Day in a little bit. Big matchup, Division 4. I was at the give me this mic. I was at the SMCC collegiate game, Warren, Michigan.
Which ended up being a tea party.
Yeah, they kind of come out and said that they were going to break the tee. I found that article in the Macomb Daily and gave it to Coach Kip, and he used a little bit, I think, as motivation. And certainly the parents did. I know that, and the fans, but I think their coach is just trying to pump their kids up a little bit. Not that big of a deal, but. Yeah, they didn't break the tee. Let's just put it that way. Tee got broken off into something, into the collegiate folks. But, it was almost 500 yards rushing. I think they probably had the most yards rushing all season in one game. So,
I do have to wonder if SMCC running back Alex Morgan would have done a celebration like U.S. women's soccer player Alex Morgan had acted like he was drinking tea with a pinky in the air.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
Just to troll.
Give me the mic.
I don't think you would do that.
I gotta take the mic from you, Frank, on that one. But no, we talk about Alex Morgan averaging 14 yards a carry. He's averaging.
Holy Moses!
I never heard of anybody averaging that many. He's got 100 carries, 14 yards a carry. That's pretty crazy. But he's not the only one. Obviously, really there's 4 or 5 of them now. When you're talking about Bergmoser, Cousineau and that group,
Jay Swirl,
and Caden Smith. So there's a whole group.
And Cole Jandro's had some good moments as well.
And even Cole Jandro. That's right. So last week the game was a little bit closer than the final score. It ended up being 44-14. It was 25-14 at the end of the third quarter, but Falcon they just broke the Cougars' spirit there in the fourth quarter. Caden Smith had a big pick six to basically end the game, to get it to 44. And Falcons played well. They were inspired. Coach Kip called it maybe their best game of the year. They're playing their best football of the year, and it couldn't be a better time for that. But let's get into their next opponent. We'll get into the Falcons' opponent, next week's opponents for Falcons, for SMCC.
Actually, this Saturday's
and Milan, yeah. What did I say, Friday?
Yeah, you said next week's. Well, it's going to be 2
this
days.
week, Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday, yeah.
And time of taping is on Thursday.
And this segment is brought to you by Level Up Training, Mike Murphy, the painter. If you guys need any painting done, this guy does a great job, and they're very low, very good costs. At a good cost, very cheap, inexpensive, and built to stay that way. But so we could play the Falcons. We'll talk about them first. Saturday, 3 o'clock in Navarre Field. The field is ready to go. Some people thought it might be played at Carlson. No, the SMCC community. And
they brought their snow shovels, their snow blowers, their leaf blowers, their wheelbarrows, what have you. They cleared all that snow off. So
that's right.
Tip of the cap to all the SMCC folk for getting it done.
Navarre's ready to go, and on Saturday at 3 o'clock, like I said, and they take on Montrose. Montrose is a true blue blood in the state of Michigan, just like SMCC. 2 state titles, many divisional or district titles, regional titles. Have almost a 70% winning percentage since 1950. So, a great program. They've made the playoffs 25 out of the last 30 seasons. That alone right there tells you that they're used to winning. Myself and Jeff Grody, my radio partner, went to check them out last Saturday up in Linden when they played Millington. And but I tell you what, they're huge. They don't have I think their smallest lineman goes about 230. Most of them are 275, 280, 300.
Ooh.
And their backs are big as well. Stuyvesant, he's number 5.
Yeah, I saw some film on him.
If you go to the blog, he's
a truck.
He's the gentleman pictured on the M Live photo. He's about 6'1", 215 pounds with some agility. So he moves for a big kid. He's not just a bulldozer. He can make you miss. So you gotta gang tackle that kid.
And he's also dangerous out of the backfield as a receiver.
That's exactly right. When they throw the ball, you brought up throwing the ball. Bobby Skinner thrown for, I want to say, 1,300 yards this year and 24 touchdowns and 2 interceptions or 3 interceptions.
Yeah, his touchdown interception ratio is really good. I know he's thrown for 24 touchdowns. I believe he's ran for like another 10 at least.
Frank, you sure you don't want to sing us some Barry Manilow?
No, I don't know. I don't sing Barry Manilow too well.
Okay. I just thought the people would love it, I think. They love you, Frank.
I know.
He knows. People he knows. Okay, so the game's going to be one up front. Get the full house tee versus the shotgun spread, but they really want to run the ball, Montrose, and it's going to be one up front. They got these big horses, but the Falcons have a nice offensive line as well. They don't lack in offensive power up front, and we talked about the running backs in Cousineau and Bergmoser, who might play a little quarterback this week again as well. Harrington at quarterback, he'll see some time there too, obviously. The speed of Caden Smith. So, and Jandro you mentioned, and I don't know if I mentioned Cousineau, but of course he's a guy you got to key on. But it's going to be a great battle. I'm really looking forward to this football game. Whoever wins in the trenches is going to win the football game. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
Yes.
Both teams are going to expect to go in and win this football game. Both teams expect, as they should, that they can win a state title. Of course, you got to get by this game first and next, of course. But I think both coaches, as I wrote in the blog, they've been kind of looking forward to this year. they have a ton of seniors. Both teams have like 20 seniors each, which is a lot for a Division VI school. And so they're senior laden, and it's going to be a great contest in Navarre Field. I'm glad we got them at home. I'm glad the field is ready, and hopefully it's just a great football game. Of course, I hope the Falcons win. Let's talk about Milan. Milan in the great Detroit Country Day.
Absolutely. I mean, Milan, they got a great win last week over Summit Academy, and now it's a big step up to face Country Day, who at times was ranked number 1 in Division IV in the state. They've got a ton of athletes on the team. Alon Mitchell, I believe, is their quarterback. There's another gentleman, his first name is Brandon, his last name escapes me, that he'll also take snaps there as well. Mitchell, more of a runner. The Brandon guy, more of a passer. So they will operate out of the spread a lot. They'll run the ball. They'll throw it. And they're tough defensively, too, giving up 5.5 points per game. But again, I think their coach said in the Monroe paper that they haven't seen an offense like Milan or a player of the caliber of Hines. So,
they're somewhat of a common opponent. Country Day played Collegiate and beat them by, I want to say, 3 touchdowns, 20 points, something like that.
Yeah.
And you saw what SMCC did,
yeah.
And Milan beat SMCC. So if you go if you go that crazy route, although I think Milan is the underdog, are they that big of an underdog? I don't think you ever are. We talked about the players Milan had, the star power, and Furtney and Hines and McIlvaney and the offensive. I think the whole team got first team all Huron League and second team all. So they got some great players. Yeah,
that's true. And I think I ended up picking Country Day on this one. I think
I did too.
All three of us did, but I don't think this game is not going to be a blowout. I can definitely foresee a close game in the fourth quarter. So I think I went something like 31-26. I think it's going to be around
close
there.
Game. I picked the Central game to be close as well. I picked the Falcons to win, but it's I picked it a 1 or 2 point game.
I think I picked it a 3-point game. I picked the Swiss Army knife Wyatt Bergmoser, who he can play quarterback, running back, defensive back. He's also a kicker and punter, and he played pretty much nothing that he can't do. And I said 31-28, where he kicks the game-winning field goal. And also, back to Miles for a second, I did find out one thing that Tristan Hines cannot do, because it looks like he can do everything. He can't kick.
Okay.
But don't really need to worry about that.
They don't punt very much, probably.
No. Well, he punt. I think he's had to punt a few times, but But he doesn't. He can't kick off or kick
extra
points.
Field goals, but he does everything else though.
Yeah, he leaves that to Jet Isaacs.
And I do want to. We got a couple minutes here. I do want to say, to those watching, I'm not homeless. I do indeed have a home.
Yes.
I have not given up on life. I do have a reason to live. If you're wondering why maybe I look like this, I've been asked by some of the Falcon faithful to keep the beard,
the playoff
keep
beard,
this look I got going on. I have to apologize to my mother. She probably cringes when she watches these videos, waiting for me to get my hair cut. But the lengths I'll go to for Falcon victory, keeping this look going. So I'm not going to ruin it. It's not going to be my fault. Let's put it that way. I will not take that. I will not take that on. So I think we're done here. We're at 13 minutes 40 seconds. Frank, you got any parting words? We both went with Country Day, but we just hope and pray that Milan gets that W. They can get the W, but Country Day is just a really good team. They're going to have to overcome some things. Maybe win the turnover battle, that sort of thing. Some special teams play out of Jet Isaacs.
Yeah.
You never know. What else you got, Frank?
Well, and also, I will actually be at Navarre Field on Saturday. I haven't gotten to see SMCCL here as many times as I've appeared on the pregame show with you and Jeff and Mike Lush. I'm finally going to get to go to one of their games, so I'm hoping to see a good one at Navarre Field, and good luck to Milan as well.
Yeah, good luck to Milan. Good luck to SMCC Falcons. And hopefully we do this again next week for both schools. Let's keep this both going, regional titles. And it doesn't get any better than this, folks. We'll see you next time for Friday Night.